Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Secretary and General Dempsey, for being here today. I know that the development of a new strategy and related changes in the budget request were very difficult undertakings. And some of the responses that I have heard from some on the committee to your work has been unfounded criticism. There's no way a 1% reduction of the Pentagon's base budget from 2012 to 2013 could mean the difference between the world's greatest military and a hollowed-out force. And under the administration's proposal, the DoD base budget will remain essentially constant between 2013 and 2017 after adjusting for inflation. I believe there's room for additional savings in the department's budget, and those may very well come when we can get some clean accounting statements. And I'm glad to know that that time period, Mr. Secretary, you've moved up to 2014, I believe, right? And I share your concern about the and your opposition to across-the-board cuts that would be mandated by sequestration. But before I ask any questions, I'd like to ask you a couple of things. Last October, there were records that I requested, and those records were not submitted until last week. Can you be more prompt after this hearing with supplying any records or answers that are requested?
Congressman, I was not aware of that, but in the future, if you make a request for documents and you don't get them in an expedited way, I wish you would call me and let me know, and we'll make sure you get them in time.
All right, thank you. And also in that regard, Mr. Secretary, a DoD report on rare earth elements was due in June of 2011, and it has not been completed as of yet. And we were also promised an interim report in December, but we've received no interim report. Can this be gotten to us quickly?
That one is in interagency coordination. I know it's late. I'm told it will be very soon.
Thank you. Any time frame?
I don't have a specific time. Let's get back to you with more specifics.
All right. Thank you.
My legislative aide is saying a couple of weeks, we hope, in that period.
All right. Thank you. That's great. Mr. Secretary, I'm concerned that the pivot to the Asia-Pacific increases the risk of an increasingly adversarial military competition with China, and that is not in either country's best interest. How do we execute this new strategy without beginning a new Cold War? And I might add that I definitely see a need for us to reposition our thinking in terms of the Asia-Pacific region.
I just had this discussion with the Vice President of China yesterday. We are we are a Pacific power. They're a Pacific power. While we've had our differences, the fact is we have some common concerns that we need to confront. One is nuclear proliferation in that area, and it's as much a concern to China as it is to us. Secondly, it's the whole issue of ensuring that trade routes and commerce flows freely in that area. That's another area that we have a joint concern. Thirdly, we have humanitarian needs in that area that we need to respond to, and they're as much concerned about that as we are. Area after area, there are some common areas that we have concerns that will help us improve the regional cooperation in that area. That's the kind of relationship we would like to have with China, and that's what we hope to develop. But in order to do that, We have to do that from a position of strength, and that's why we have to maintain our presence in the Pacific.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you.